see how this comes out.
Village of Hainesville regular board meeting will now come to order on Tuesday, January 11th. Happy New Year 2011 at 7:03 p.m. If everybody would please rise and I'll lead us in the pledge, and then I'd like to have a moment of silence following that for those who passed in the Arizona shooting. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Soto.
Present.
Trustees Darnowski.
Here.
Tiffany.
Here.
Duberstein.
Here.
Barrett.
Here.
Daly.
Here.
And Washington.
Here.
Okay, we have a full board and we're in quorum. Before we move on to approval of tonight's agenda, I am going to ask that the motion is made with an amendment. We need to amend agenda item K1 under business. It currently reads approval of a resolution for MFT funds for crack sealing. That should read pavement study. The dollar amount is correct for $14,530. So if I can have a motion for approval as amended.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustees Darnowski.
Aye.
Tiffany.
Aye.
Duberstein. Aye. Barrett.
Aye.
Daly.
Aye.
And Washington.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Before we move on to the general public comments, we have guest speakers tonight, and I believe everybody is present. At our November board meeting, one of our residents and school board members for the Round Lake School District 116, Douglas Raoul Williams, came and spoke at public comments time and also introduced us to Dr. Collins, the new school superintendent who was recently hired. She was going to be a speaker tonight to talk about the current status of the district and their future plans. Unfortunately, she was not able to be here tonight. Something else came up at the last minute. However, I'm happy to say that we still have representatives. We have, again, Douglas Raoul Williams, Tammy Hanna, and Lori Burdettis. Am I saying that correct?
And Michael Eckhart joined us also.
Okay, Michael Eckhart? Okay, Thank you very much, and we give you the floor. I believe everyone has a handout at your place, and I believe there's a stack of handouts that are also on the back table if you didn't get one. Yes, you are all school board members.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. And one of the commitments that I made when I got elected is that I would come back as often as I could to give you an update. And we've done a lot, and basically, you need to know where you're going, and so you know the path. So we've come up with a 5-year strategic plan to really improve the school district, and hopefully have your copies of the goals. And we're just going to go over the main goals, the vision, mission, and goals of the strategic plan, which hopefully in 5 years will put us in a better position than we're in now. Going to come up and.
You know what
reputation is hard to break. You may be doing good things, but if you don't put the positive message out, people still think that you're still operating in the old-fashioned. And the Round Lake School District has really moved ahead in the last 10 years. For the last 3 years, correct me if I'm wrong, we won a financial recognition award from the state. That means that we have a balanced budget and we're within our spending parameters. Very few school districts can say that at this time. Our cash reserves are very good. We have a normal amount of long-term debt. But so now going forward, now that the financial house is in order, how do we reach our academic goals? And that's why we're here tonight, to let you know. Okay, our vision. Become a nationally top-ranked school district in partnership with a diverse, unified community to maximize the learning of each student. The mission, ensure the highest achievement for every student in meeting academic expectations that exceed standards, learning 21st century skills, and developing social and cultural proficiency. Promote lifelong learning, ethical leadership, and active citizenship in concert with every member of our community. And we'll start off with our goals. Educationally, align the District 116 curriculum within and among all buildings for pre-K through 12. And please jump in here. So what's happened previously, you may have 2 middle school buildings teaching a different curriculum. So when those kids advance into high school, they weren't all on the same page, so to speak. So from kindergarten through 12, everybody will be learning what they need to be learning to advance to the next grade. So the teachers have that expectations that the kids are prepared for that grade level. Establish standard process for academic interventions for all students. We're applying something called RTI, Response to Intervention. That means that every student learns differently, so the mayor and I may be different learners, and it may need a different intervention for me because I'm a little slower to get me to where I'm at that the mayor may not need. So every child deserves to have their own specialized intervention, and it's a new concept called RTI. Implement a behavioral plan for pre-K through 12 to reduce referrals. I know you want to jump into this one, Mike. There is a program where you really teach children the pillars of character. And we've noticed that since we've instituted that, our referrals for disturbances and so forth have really reduced. So the teachers can spend more time academically as opposed to use the word babysitting and really just correcting behavior. Promote connections between the school and community by addressing social, physical, and emotional needs of students. That means that we're here tonight because that's part of what we should be doing, is the bigger picture that our work is not only in the school district, but it's out in the community promoting things that do benefit our children. Speaking to elected officials, just doing the holistic approach to education, because it takes a community really to teach a child. Financial, implement a strategic financial plan for short and long-term budgeting. One of the things, we've hired an architect of record, and we know, for example, that we need to expand the high school and in other areas of the school district. Well, how do we do that? What's the best prudent manner to do that? So we're looking at retiring debt and using those dollars to fund projects as opposed to taking on new debt, would be one aspect. Find and maintain additional funding sources. We've hired a grant writer, so to speak, that will be doing other things, but looking for grants. With the state of the financial situation in Illinois, we really need to look to additional sources versus property taxes and state aid, since we rely heavily on state aid, and that's very uncertain these days. Develop strategic technology budgeting system and plan. I'll let anybody jump in on that one. Okay, probably Jerry understands that one from being in the school district, so, okay. Okay. Facilities. Provide modern, safe facilities with latest technology, space to lower class sizes, and best practices learning environments. Like I mentioned, the high school, for example, is we're at the point where we're getting overcrowded. So we'd like to add on 6 classrooms to the high school. The early learning center where kindergarten and preschool is, we'd like to expand that because one thing that Dr. Collins brought up is that what will take us to a better place in the future is to start our children off very young in preschool and kindergarten, which we have all-day kindergarten now for the last 3 years, and we're seeing an improvement. By the time students get to 3rd grade, they're reading at grade level as opposed to being behind and playing catch-up. And that's crucial in narrowing an academic achievement gap. Human resources, recruit, develop, and retain competent, caring staff. We're getting to a point where a lot of teachers are looking to retire or reaching that retirement age. Well, we really need to mentor, for example, our new teachers to stay with us and have those correct habits, and something that Dr. Collins really emphasizes, good to great. So being good is not acceptable anymore. We need to be great, so that means that the staff we hire needs to be at that expectational level. Established district HR department. We have an informal department, but we really want a formal one where we can really make our employees feel welcome to stay for long term and to really develop them while they're with us in the school district. Establish collaborative pre-K through 12 hiring process. That kind of goes back to just hiring the right people initially. Last and not least, leadership and communication. Establish unified leadership, communicating effectively internally and with stakeholders. Again, I use this as an example because one thing that we're all very passionate about is that going forward, we're a little unique to you guys, for example. You guys cover Hainesville, we cover all 5 communities. So we really need to go out to you guys, not the other way around. We notice that parents don't come to board meetings, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're doing such a great job that we shouldn't try to elicit responses from them and input. So that's a challenge we made for ourselves going forward. We really need to be out in the community telling our story and listening. Last and not least, find, hire, and retain leaders who can move people toward district vision. I think with Dr. Collins, that's a great example of just her philosophy of good to great. There's just a new energy in the school district with the teachers and administrators that, we're in a great place financially and academically we're moving in the right direction, but there's more work to do, and now with our 5-year plan, we have a course to get there. So if anybody has any questions, Mike? No. Sure, please. Okay.
I think the first thing you need to understand when we talk about strategic planning, it wasn't the school board sitting together with with a couple teachers coming up with these plans. We opened it up to the community. And I don't know if anyone here actually was part of the strategic planning. Okay, so we were there in April for both. Okay, then.
Can I just interrupt? You're Tammy?
I'm Lauren.
All right.
Lori Martinez.
All right.
And so it was open to the community. I think we had, maybe 70 to 80 people. It was teachers, it was community members, it was residents, it was all kind from all over, where we came up with the vision, we came up with the mission, we came up with the goals. This went over 2 days, and once that was established back last April, we got together. I think our first meeting was September, where we broke up into these different groups. And then, exactly, yeah, subcommittees, thank you. And at that point, we narrowed it down. So this is just really a general overview. But basically what kind of is an overlay out of the whole strategic planning has to do with the academic excellence of our children. The biggest thing is that we are not accepting unique standards. That's why when you look at our vision, it says we want to get nationally challenged. We don't want any national standards. We want people to say, from the Round Lake School District, and we want them to say, oh, Round Lake, we don't necessarily have a great reputation. This board, we're working really hard, the board that we were before. I mean, we were part of the student finance authority, or the state finance authority, took us over in 92, and in 8 years, we got out of it, we got rid of our debt, we got rid of our deficit, and our goal, and this is what I loved about the school district. I've been on the board since March, and I came on because I got 2 kids in the school district, and I was concerned about the school. You hear all kinds of crazy stories. I wanted to find out what was going on, and what I found was that the administrators, the teachers, care so much about our school district, and we want to get parents involved, we got residents involved, because the children are our future. And I don't know about all of you, but I get really tired of hearing people say that. But if you watch our school district, you watch our board, you keep an eye on us in the next couple of years, you're going to see it.